Alright everyone, this is episode number 96 today for the French Grand Prix Season 6. If you missed the previous episode of Austria, I recommend you go and check that one out before seeing this one, because spoiler alert, we did win that race and limited Norris to P4 in the end, as Leclerc and Sainz rounded off the podium there. So a good victory there, we're closing the gap to 13 points. So this is crucial. We need another good result here in France, as it looks like we're going to be getting an R&D regulation change at the end of the season. Not that that's going to matter too much, because obviously this is the 6th and final season of this career mode on F1 22. R&D wise, Haas have finally finished, but Aston Martin have brought an upgrade for the first time in about 3 years. So, you know, that's good for them. You know, you can fit the tyre, the width of that on that line graph of from Ferrari to AlphaTauri, in that gap between AlphaTauri and Aston Martin. That's how far Aston Martin are behind as well. So we come to qualifying then. I've never actually qualified well here at France. It's always been a terrible circuit for me. I have had a few good races though, but yeah, qualifying. Well, they're behind Latifi at this moment in time. You know, that has improved, but Latifi definitely hasn't as well. And not had a great turn one as well, as we actually lost time into sector one. This track will of course be back now on F1 23, even though we're not racing there this year. They're a little bit better through the end of sector 1. Now we got 10th up on our previous best time. Now we go down this DRS straight. We should be able to gain time against the AI. The first two sectors is where I'm good against the AI. It's the final sector where I tend to lose a bit of time as well. Out of this corner as well, the AI tend to have OP traction, especially on F1 22, as well as we're almost 2/10 up. We're 10th up on Latifi's time through the middle sector, which we need a little bit more, I reckon, into this horrible. This is such a horrible corner. You just have to sit and wait, ride through it for about half a year before you actually make it to the apex. Again, another horrible corner here as well. Racing line there on the curb, which of course it's not an autospinala curb, thank goodness, otherwise we would have ended up in the wall. Into the final corner then, and because this is a low speed corner, the AI will out traction you every single time as well. 3/10 gain up to the line, and I think that's only P15. No, it's P13, excuse me, as well. Drogovic in 8th, 5/10 off, which is about right for their AI's OP qualifying pace as well in the later seasons. So yeah, we've got a bit of work to do. Norris is only up there in P3, so there's still chance to get some points on our rivals around us. So we'll see what we can do from 13th the grid. It's time for the race. It's time for the French Grand Prix.
Welcome along to France, one of the great racing meccas, host of the world-famous Tour de France, and widely thought of as giving birth to the art of motor racing in the late 1800s. How far we've come since then. As this year's race gets underway, it's time, of course, for the French Grand Prix. Mastering a lap of Paul Ricard means getting to know 15 corners. 6 go to the left and 9 go to the right, for an overall lap distance of 3.6 miles. The two halves of the long Mistral Straight are separated by a heavy braking zone into a potential overtaking hotspot at the chicane. And watch out for drivers running into the distinctive coloured stripes, which are low in grip and highly abrasive. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. World champion Max Verstappen starts from pole position, and it's Charles Leclerc in P2. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Norris, Sainz, Oscar Piastri and Tsunoda, Albon, Drogovic, Gasly and Lewis Hamilton, Mick Schumacher, Vettel, Phoenix and Magnussen, Russell, Latifi, Esteban Ocon and Lance Stroll, Joe and Robert Schwartzman. It's almost time for the lights to go out, so let's head down to the track where preparations are underway. It's just about time to go to the track for the beginning of the race, but before we do, Natalie Pinkham, what types of strategy do you think we can expect going into today's race?
Well, there's a lot that both driver and the team have to keep in mind when going into a race. The tyres, fuel, energy recovery system, the list goes on and on. But I think the key to today's victory will come down to the pit stop strategy. Come in too soon and you might find yourself needing more than one stop. Too late and you're putting yourself at a disadvantage by spending longer on worn tyres.
After the points finished last race, let's aim to keep that momentum going.
Now, interestingly, unlike other circuits, the game has actually recommended me my favourite strategy of medium to soft, and it's actually faster than soft to medium, just as well. We're going to lower the fuel as well because we don't need that much fuel. So a few others on medium. So 5 lights, the French Grand Prix, Paul Ricard, and away we go. And it's the usual start. Can we get Schumacher to start? No, he gets that second phase of the start in, and we have to sit behind him now. Right on the inside of Schumacher. Can we get Schumacher? Vettel unaware of us. We had to go almost lip off circuit to make sure we didn't go into the back of Vettel. We have got Vettel on traction out of turn 1 up to P11. Now we jump to lap 2. Next up is Filippo Drugovich, who's following us on the same strategy, and our new teammate has been relegated down out of the points. So Drugovich seems to have good qualify. He's a good qualified Drugovich, but he's a terrible racer. His starts are horrible. He's got a lot recovering if he wants to get points. So now we're having a look at Gasly. Gasly is the last, I think, on mediums. Everyone else up ahead. Most people up ahead on softs. Can't get past him there though. Gasly goes a little bit defensive. Is there a chance around the outside? I think against it here. But then can we have to get better traction? Yes, we can. Pinch into the curb. And that's a lovely little move. We're up to P9 as well. I've explained this one before. If you've got brake assist on and you go down the inside, you won't be making the overtake. You'll lose a position. We pincered Gasly to that inside curb there, and we're able to get the better race traction. This is the move I wanted to do of Tsunoda making the overtake on Carlos Sainz. So Tsunoda going well in McLaren. He's having a good season, to be fair, Yuki. Try the man linked with Aston Martin in real life, but of course Aston Martin in this career mode is a dustbin. The car around the outside of Hamilton at the final corner. Now he's going to start OP tractioning me. Now we've got to try and pull into the slipstream of Hamilton again to use the top end speed that we have from the setup down the inside and up to P8. So it's crucial we didn't get stuck behind the Williams, because we know how fast the Williams are in a straight line, although to be fair everyone else seems to have caught them up. So well, Piastri, thank you very much, goes defensive, and it's a comfortable move around the outside and up to P7. Williams not really been liking this track in 8th and 9th, but they have gone off since I was there last season. Now we're trying to catch up to Tsunoda as well. A few people to start to make their stops. We are absolutely flying. Can we have a look around the outside? Think against Tsunoda. A little bit of PTSD to the previous race when he tried to take me out at Austria. Trying to think about going side by side. He might want to take me out again, and we hold off for now. We're actually going to come into the pits then in the end of lap number 7 onto a set of soft tyres. So we've made some good ground on the mediums. Now, this is where we start making big time up against our rivals. Our mediums are off, softs are on. There's a little bit of a held for the Ferrari of Vettel coming in as well, and that's allowed Albon to get ahead of us. That's annoying as well. Schumacher there. There's Norris. There's Tsunoda. Can we get in front of Sainz? No. And no, we've lost out to Hamilton as well. He has to say, the overcut seems to have not worked for pitting. Piastri's lost out as well to Hamilton there, because Piastri was ahead. We're going to try and get Hamilton down the inside. No. Keep it in around the outside of this corner. Give the inside for the next corner. Down the inside. Lovely little move. Coming against Sainz as well. A little bit off circuit there. And trying to almost pushing him through that corner. We're going to pinch him inside there, a little bit almost contact between myself and the Ferrari, but we have got in front of Sainz now, which was crucial. We need to try and make momentum and now use these softs to propel us forward. As I say, Sainz not wanting to give the position up and almost made contact with us as well. And after that, they're going 4 wide. 4 wide down that straight. It comes to narrowed down to 3. Sainz almost loses out, but then fights back. Gasly's the one that comes out on top against the both Williams car. But this is Sainz didn't have DRS, but then Hamilton on the inside had to brake early, and then Piastri got knocked out by. Excuse me, it's not Piastri, it's Hamilton. Got knocked out by Gasly, and as a result Sainz is able to move past, so that's not a good end for both Williams, as we're going to easily overtake Albon and cut back to the racing line because we made that overtake early. As I say, that's when you can move to the inside to make that move. But yeah, purple first sector with flying. We set the fast lap of the Grand Prix, it's going to be an extra point. Yuki very kindly moves to the left hand side, and again this is going to be easy. We're up to P4, so yes, but now there's a bit of a gap to Norris. We do close that gap, but we're going to run out of laps. It's a shame. It's, you know, the top 4 in the championship have finished top 4, and Verstappen, to be fair, you know, it's damage limitation to Leclerc and Norris. Verstappen, who's been playing catch up after some disastrous races, so in the end, you know, I'll take P4. It could have been worse. We only lose 2 points to Norris, but in all grand scheme of things, we need to be gaining points after the disaster race that was Silverstone. You know, it was, you know, Red Bull, Verstappen from Leclerc and Norris. Drogovic just slumped to 14th. Oh dear. Mighty, you know, obviously it can't be fired, but if we were to continue this into a 7th season, then he'd definitely probably out the door as well. So we're 15 points back. Verstappen's closed in to 23 points back. Norris has lost some points to Leclerc, so that gap's only 4 points. So we'll try and bounce back. The next race at Belgium, that episode will be out next week sometime as well. In terms of the constructors, well, we're only 3 points behind Williams and Ferrari, but when Drogovic is having terrible races, you know, one hand time behind our back, it is a bit of an issue as well. And in terms of a rivalry, we're thrashing Russell again, 18-8 in this current rivalry as well. So yes, a little bit, you know, we've got 6 races left to round out this season. 15 points back. It's not the end of the world, but I do think we need a little bit of help from the F1 gods. We need a bit of sight, you know, because he got that 2nd place at Austria. We need sort of him, maybe Tsunoda, Vettel, maybe the AlphaTauris, Piastri to get involved and start taking points off the likes of Norris, Leclerc, and even Verstappen. Verstappen, if he gets a roll on, because he's won his first Grand Prix of the season now. If he can get, if he has a bit of good form, of focus, then he'll obviously be one to watch as well. So this could be a 4-way fight for the championship. So it's definitely not over, but we need to start taking more points. And 4th is not good, isn't the best today. So yes, that's where I'm going to leave it for today's episode. If you have enjoyed, leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, see plenty more F1 22 driver career mode videos. And if you have decided to watch this video instead of F1 23 content, I'd like to say a huge thank you for supporting smaller creators who don't unfortunately have access to the F1 23 game because EA can't be bothered to renew my application to be a part of the creator network. It's actually, you know, it's a bit ridiculous. I applied after the end of F1 22, so, well, just after that came out, back last July, and it still says pending, which is absolutely ridiculous, EA. But yeah, enough about that. Hope you have enjoyed, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care, enjoy your day, and goodbye.
Bye.